Well, for a little bit of analysis on this, we're now joined via Skype by political analyst Ongama Mtimka. Thanks so much indeed for joining us. Interestingly, last week we were speaking about the same kind of scenario, a mayor that's been ousted by a vote of no confidence and wanting to take these issues to court. And I just wonder your thoughts on what's played out in the Port Elizabeth High Court today.
So the court didn't agree with former Mayor Mongameli Bobani's counsel that this matter was urgent. And I think what it does then is, in the absence of an interdict to that process, because it seems to me that there wasn't necessarily an interdict which bound council in terms of proceeding with its resolutions, as it was the case in Tshwane. I may be mistaken, but I don't remember that that's what Bobani had sought pending the outcome of this process. They wanted the court to apply itself to the issues pretty quickly so that there can be a resolution. But now that the court has dismissed the urgency, what it means is that the merits of the issues which were being raised, and I think at the core of it was the non-appearance of that motion of no confidence on the council's agenda on the day, and the feeling aggrieved that that item he had not been sufficiently notified that would be one of the items being debated. Obviously, one could argue that there were technical aspects to this, even the omission itself, and council in its wisdom on that day took a decision. Now, as we have seen with the case in Tshwane, and I remember us talking some time ago where I was explaining that as part of the rules, it's important, somebody at the level of the MEC can come in to preside over a meeting, but how the speaker had left in that meeting was where the ambiguity was. So the court in the case of Tshwane explained that, in fact, the way in which the speaker was agreed, I think the relief the DA was looking for was granted. So I've highlighted that case to say, with these motions of no confidence, sometimes because of the manner in which things are done, there does need to be legal interpretation of that process, where the rules applied the way they should have. And sometimes an aggrieved party does get relief, as we have seen in Tshwane, should the court agree with their interpretation of the rules. But today, it's still a victory for those that were for the motion, but it's not a foregone conclusion that when the court applies itself to the merits of the case, that it would find in their favor too.
All right. So the situation that former Mayor Bobani finds himself in, would he, even if he managed to get a technical decision and get it back into the House and get another vote, would there be a different result? Is he just not delaying the obvious?
That's the thing with this. If you have to rely on technical legal interpretations, one may have a bit of reprieve, but it's delaying the inevitable, because his problem is not legal issues. His problem is a political environment that's no longer conducive to his rule. So you're quite right that if and I think now the chance I would give it a 40-60 that the decision was found in his favor. He still has to deal with the fact that now he has lost the leveraged legitimacy which he had up until that council meeting.
What's the position that his party has taken over his dismissal?
I think based on the correspondence and some social media commentary by General Mantu Olomisa, I think they are giving him a benefit of doubt that he may be right, and I don't know what political work is being done beyond the nitty-gritties or the specifics of how things were done, because it's not them getting relief from a legal due process point of view that will ensure Bobani's rule. It will be finding a political settlement. So even if they must fight a legal battle, in the final analysis, the political issues that are there will remain, and it doesn't seem like he is going to be able to at least find the support base which was there even within the ANC going forward, because ever since the last the special council meeting, which didn't sit sometime I think in October or between August and October this year, there's a lot that has shifted at an ANC level, which makes the grip that he had no longer there. So he's not going to have. He doesn't have a political power base, in fact, to marshal a comeback as I see things.
All right, okay, and perhaps very briefly then, with the local government elections on the horizon, is defending Bobani too much going to cost political capital with the voters at all?
I suppose one of the final straw in terms of, because remember, politicians always manufacture messages about one another. But I think the firing of executive directors, the non-employment of permanent executives, shows that in fact there are a lot of issues in the municipal council, and as such, his continued rule, as well as the political support he attracts, has got reputational risk for all those that are involved.
All right, Ongama, we'll leave it there. Always a pleasure talking to you. Thanks very much indeed for your insights.